little screen.
He's alive.
That's right. I am so glad you guys are here. I'm so glad that Adam the astrologer is here. Let's get live. Uh-oh. Somebody else really wants to be part of the show today. Oh, it's Regularizer.
Oh, you might have to take it.
Yeah. They'll have to wait. They were delightful, but they will have to wait. Because you guys are more important today. I'm sorry. You just are. You gotta understand how important you are to the universe. But I don't have things to show off today. I know, shocker, I always have something to show off. But I do want to run over what's happening right now here at the shop. For example, on Saturday, well, tonight I'll be here teaching after we close, but everybody knows that. I'll be here teaching year 2 in the herbal program. If you are interested in signing up for the herbal program year 1, it starts in September. Here's the always lovely poster. And if you need a payment plan, those start in June with all payments due by the first class in September. It'll be the first Tuesday in September because you guys will be done.
Oh my God,
I know, your year 3 will be done, so year 3's night becomes year 1's night. I'm very excited. Saturday, we will have the Standing Stones. They will be coming in for their class. And they're nearing the end of their run. So if you wanted to check them out and you haven't had a chance, please do. You do not need to start at the beginning with these guys. Just step in whenever you're ready. So this Saturday, the 17th, Divination 3, Numerology and Pendulums, fantastic subjects. And there will be 2 more classes after that, May 31st and June 14th. And that'll be the end of their run. But on Sunday,
yeah,
an amazing by donation class on astrology by someone who has studied the art for many a year.
it's true. And yeah, I haven't been up to a lot of it in a long time, except for my own little obsession. Because these are very dynamic times. We got Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Well, Pluto's already shifted into Aquarius. These 4 are all in the process of bouncing across sign cusps. So yeah, this particular class we'll be looking at as many charts as we can get up on the board, looking at what those planets are doing in each person's chart.
Nice.
Well, focusing on whoever's highlighted in each chart. He's talking about all 5 planets in every chart.
You'll do the salient points.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is the big turn of the ages with Saturn and Neptune coming together in the very first degree of the zodiac.
Oh, wow.
So quite some reality flipping potentials that are already in motion, but can mean good things too.
And we're going to go back to that old, okay, this is before my time slide, so I'll mess it up. So those of you who are boomers who actually remember this, I apologize, because there's no way I won't butcher this. Will we get back therefore to the, yeah, man, but he didn't have his food card, man. Are we going to get back to that era? Is that?
Yeah, man, but he went to bed.
There's some piece of theater that I do not know enough about. Somebody will know exactly what I'm talking about, and you can let me know in the comments about switching into the age of Aquarius, and everybody will have a food card because we will share resources better.
Oh, okay.
But heaven help you if you, heaven help you if you don't have your food card.
Well, the Saturn Neptune cycle does seem to every time be very connected to communistic stories. So it's kind of like, all right, organizational authority, government authority, but also we're all equal in hellish poverty. So
this is why whenever people talk like that, the first thing that pops into my head, and it's because of my own like ancestral background and stuff, is the little Irish women having to haul all of their children into the church to beg for the priest to give them money for shoes. That's what I think of when I hear that. So that would be my fear. It's like, oh, you don't have your food card, you don't get to eat today.
So the stories of poverty, they're important questions of how do we live dynamic and connected and meaningful, joyful lives, whatever BS the ruling classes are coming up with.
Yeah, we will talk more. But what else is happening? So you can also do Reiki 1 this Sunday. Sign up for it if you're interested. Great class, fun class. How long it is depends entirely on how many attunements we're doing that day. And it is a class that is going to be taken over by another Reiki master. I am very excited for this, but she's not doing it this month. So I'm going to have a lot of fun on it. I can also say that on Tuesday, of course, we'll have Herbs 3. And my calendar says Standing Stones will be here on a day that their date sheets don't. So be forewarned, just the dates I gave you.
You got this calendar's up on there.
It is, yes. It's up on my website. You can check it out there.
And on Facebook?
And I don't know if the calendar's up on Facebook, but I know it's up on our
It's hard to
website.
find on the website.
It's on the
I
front
don't know
page. You just have to scroll down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just go to the front page and scroll to the bottom. It's
This
sort of in the middle. The following Sunday, on the 25th, we have the Reiki Share. So if you're a Reiki first, second, or third degree, and you just want to do some trades, come down. We love that stuff. That's at noon. And then there's a palmistry class by our palmist, Chris, at 4 o'clock. That's another by donation class. He has been having so much fun with that class.
It's such a party. I've been at two of them, and he has an amazing slideshow that I hear I could get a copy of.
Yeah.
But it's like A to Z, everything you ever want to understand about the lines and the dermaglyphics, like what your fingerprints and it's really cool.
Yes, and he covers it in 4 sessions, and they're not consecutive. You don't have to have attended the first one to understand the second one. He does a great job laying the information out. And yeah, you will get your palm. He can't resist reading your palm while you're there. And it's another by donation class. It's always a lot of fun. I should say now that next month in June, we will not be having Tarot Lab, but we'll have it for the rest of the year. So not in June though. Anything else in the schedule? Let me see. Of course.
How many people can fit into our new classroom?
It is slightly smaller, but it's still good size. It's 13 by 19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We can use enough.
It's the size of a circa 2000 master bedroom. Put it that way. We're combining 2 what I would call kids' rooms from the 1970s, if that helps. I'm coming up with a decent sized room, I think, for our classroom. And of course, you can catch us here at 11:15 pretty much every day of the week. There's something I either do it live or I've essentially canned it but not edited it so it looks live every single day of the week. I haven't done the canning this week, so you might be seeing, my bedroom curtains and bad lighting for the remainder of the posts for this week. We're moving. We're a little busy. So I'm a little behind in my pre-setup shots. But that's what we've got going on. You can catch us on most of the socials. So check us out. This cast will get rebroadcast. We'll be put up permanently on YouTube and Facebook. So join us when you can. And of course, for those of you who are joining us from Instagram, just know that this runs for a limited amount of time on Instagram. This is too long a broadcast for that. So we run out of time, run out the clock and get kicked off. Catch what you can on Instagram today. But we're really here to talk to you about the wonders and glories of astrology.
Oh, now it's my time.
Now it's your
I
time.
didn't get
Yeah, no, that's okay. We have more to discuss. It's all right. We have time. So your class is coming up on Sunday. And you have been, correct me if I'm wrong, toying not only with teaching. I know that you're still very involved in the Astrology Association, right?
No, not at all.
You
I accidentally ended up being president for a few years and felt horrible about the job I did of administrativeness with lots of responsibility, and I have not been participating there.
Oh.
I've just been, that's one reason I kind of been on a sabbatical for a while, and my studies have gotten weirder and weirder in the meantime. So I'm doing less consultation, actually moving back towards being a massage therapist.
Nice.
And herbalist someday.
Yes, definitely.
But looking at the big world-changing energies that are going on, I'm always very interested in that. And so
The universal trends.
yeah, universal trends. My passion is putting tools in people's hands, because there's lots that'll make your head explode if you try to try to make any sense out of it.
Yeah.
But then there are some things of just focus on the planets less than the signs, focus on what's on the angles, rising or culminating, and collaborate with them in real time. I pass out the info of when planets are rising and culminating for people to get co-creative and magical with.
Nice.
As you know, our first breath, when we separate from mom, become our own being. That moment, that chart's got some important info about our whole journey. But same thing with
And that's our birth.
when we leave the house is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
When we leave the house or when we sign the contract or whatever, everything's got a birth chart.
Yeah, any momentous
And-
decisions might have a little more influence.
And getting playful with those times is something I really like to put into people's hands.
Okay.
It's incredible. The planet, the big conjunction that we got going on between Saturn and Neptune, big story.
So
next year.
what is Saturn about and what is Neptune about?
Well, both of them are in relation to time itself. Saturn is, the Grim Reaper, Cronus, and the requirements of this life, the mortality of this life, the limited time offer of walking and breathing and talking. And Saturn is sort of a linear, you gotta fill in the blanks, you gotta clean out the corners, you got all the things that you got so boring that you gotta make happen on planet Earth to make things work. It's about how we take responsibility for things.
And I'm an herbalist, and so
You got
that's
some
where
good Saturn.
that's
The Earth. Saturn is the planet of the Earth.
That's where my knowledge comes from. So I always think of Saturn as, because from an herbal perspective, because time froze in herbalism, we don't have those newfangled planets. There's no Neptune. You have to make it up, kind of, if you want to go past Saturn. Saturn was the end of the known universe, so it's to me the limit, and where boundaries are established. And I think of plants like the black walnut trees that grow here that are so toxic to everything immediately around it that it has to make seeds that will bounce out of its boundaries because it would eat its own young if it had the opportunity.
Right.
So that's my vision of, that's like my touch point for Saturn.
Well, so
I don't know how well that meshes
quick
with classes.
just the signs that are Saturn's home, Capricorn,
Mm-hmm.
Earth and ladder climbing, all you gotta do, the business, showing up with what you wanna make happen. But then it's also the rule of Aquarius.
Yep.
And-
Yeah, if you're going back,
Mhm.
you get both of them. Do you still get both of them, or is one of them now? Okay.
I mean, it depends on astrology.
Okay,
But
yeah.
yeah, no, every planet rules a day sign and a night sign.
Okay.
So Aquarius is Saturn's day sign.
Mhm.
And here's where it's about responsibility for the community. So it's about connectedness, where
Yeah.
Saturn, we live in a very individualistic, autonomized reality. And don't get me wrong, it's going to keep going in crackpot ways. But with Pluto in Aquarius over, I don't know, 20 years or so, with it still there, don't quote me on that. But this is showing up the shadow material around our visions of the future, what we're creating together, how we're connected to our neighbors, how we're, just.
Because even the decision to be independent and not connect is a connection. It is a level of a decision about how, where, and when you connect as a community. There's no escaping that. A vote to not vote is still a vote, basically.
It's true, yep. So Saturn and Neptune coming together is related to Pluto's adventure in Aquarius by Saturn's rulership of Aquarius.
Ah,
Saturn is the ruler of time and discipline and how we are able to participate in the social order, to play the rules of, okay, now you talk and I talk, and we have these rhythms of what's socially acceptable.
Right.
That's Saturn's realm.
okay.
Neptune is mystic.
Which is in the sign associated with the day side of Saturn.
No.
No.
No. That's a
Okay.
whole.
Okay.
There's
Because it's in Aquarius, though.
no.
No.
Pluto's
Okay.
Aquarius.
Pluto's in Aquarius. All right, sorry. So
The
Neptune.
dwarf planet Aquarius.
I'm so glad you're here.
Dwarf planet Aquarius. No, dwarf planet. Yes. So no, where I was going with Neptune,
Okay.
the third most massive of all planets, and the one farthest from the sun, that carves a perfect circle around our sun, 165 years about. It's funny because its rhythm's so regular, but its energies are where time doesn't exist.
Mm.
And so Neptune brings us experiences of synchronicity and symbolic, just the symbolic language of how what tarot card and plant and
planets
like
and
all these connections.
And that Brahms melody that was bouncing around in your head while you were thinking about those things. Okay.
And then you realize it's a cosmic joke, and you're at the center of it. That's what usually happens to me, and I love it. I love it. I'm a very Neptunian being.
What I love about this is, as a little kid, I had a vision, and tell me if this seems completely off base, but what you're saying reminds me a lot of that vision. So I'm in early high school, and I'm in a Catholic high school, and let's just say it had an effect because I'm here. And and I had in my head popped this image of this very stern, sort of Yahweh-like deity, definitely masculine, very, and then if you look over his shoulder, there was a Buddha laughing his ass off right behind him. But then if you looked over the Buddha's shoulder, you got the same thing. You looked over that, and it just kept recursively going back and back and back. This constant shifting of expectation versus the insanity of the asynchronicities of those expectations. And it's a very high school image, I think.
I like it. I mean, I think we need more meta religiosity.
That's exactly what I think. Yeah, where my brain went. But it's
that's where I'm going. Is I lead dances at the University of Peace every month and it's a lot of Christians and very much dedication to religious ideals in the Sufi order I'm part of. But I've become more and more agnostic-y on the journey. And so with astrology, something that I've been playing with in my interfaces with the planets is just how devotional states, this is Neptune's territory,
right.
So our felt sense experience of the love of God.
Yeah. However you define that today.
I say their name in this way for a good comical reason. But I think devotion doesn't need an object.
Right.
So this sacred state of connectedness and belonging and love, whatever concept you tag on to it, can get in the way of that.
Yes.
And so Saturn and Neptune together kind of shake and loose our attachment to a set, established order, ideal of what mysticism is, and instead it's happening. Are you here for it?
So what you're saying is that my little harsh Yahweh-like figure and my little laughing Buddha figure are now going to have to sit down and share a cup of tea? Is that what you're saying?
They might make it.
Okay, that's fair.
Is that too far? Oh my gosh.
Conceptually, I think that's great.
One more thing to say. So Saturn is history. Saturn is the rule of law, but more what has been written and what we are still cooking with now because it was written. And Neptune is the collective unconscious. So it's where all of the archetypes, where the gods live.
Okay.
So where these energies in the deep recesses of our collective memory, these God images gone by, that we can still get collaborative with and have felt sense, interactive, dimensional divide, transcending experiences.
So it might be a way of thinking about, for example, why people are suddenly getting so particular about education and what ideas are represented. And at the same time, you're seeing history bubble up that had been ignored, like the massacre at Black Wall Street in the earlier part of the 20th century.
Yeah, and totally. Neptune is those who've been cast out. So Neptune rules insane asylums.
Okay.
Pardon the expression for sanitarium gone by. and poor,
Mhm.
and Saturn is the established orders, so, and limitations, jails.
Hierarchy.
And so, and so we see both and manifestation of more of the stories of what really happened to marginalized peoples and dishonored pieces of land and just all of the beings. Neptune is all of the beings,
Okay.
but in particular, it's the oneness of all being. It's Neptune's always full of paradoxes, like because it's where we have the felt sense experience of our oneness with everything,
Mhm.
but then it's also where we have the shameful cast out of the club, all alone, gonna die in the woods of starvation.
Mhm.
So it's both this not belonging and completely being one with.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm.
So where psychedelic
Yeah.
awakenings can happen. Like,
Yes. So this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. I've been going on for a little bit. Been going on for a little bit. Yeah, the technology side of things. That was one thought. Is just one exciting thing about Pluto in Aquarius is Uranus is going to be moving. What is the kickoff? Yep, July 7th is when it officially enters Gemini for the first time here in a while. And it's moving into a trine with Pluto. And
Trines are happy. I know that much.
Trines are collaborative, like it or not, this is energy that's happening. So this is about transformation, innovation, and just shadow material being exposed and poked fun at and changed and sparking insight. The midpoint between Uranus and Pluto currently is also the midpoint between Saturn and Neptune.
Wow.
The beginning of the zodiac.
So what do midpoints mean generally? Like, why are they looked at?
Midpoint, it's just like an aspect from these planets, even if there isn't an aspect, when something's right at the midpoint between them, it's participating in both of their affecting each other.
Okay.
And so this is the biggest turn of the ages we've had in a long time. Not necessarily Aquarian turn of ages, but well, I guess it is in terms of what you're gonna do about it.
Yeah.
You're free to explore strangers. So I want to put tools in people's hands to play with the strangeness. One last thing to tell you about is this Saturday afternoon, I think around 2:30 is when it starts, around 8:10, I think around 10. If you want to get officially official about it. We're in an interesting time period because Uranus, its orbit is pretty close to ours in terms of its inclination. Most things are up or down a little bit.
Okay.
84-year cycle. The whole time that Uranus is in Gemini, and a little bit on either side, when the Earth, Sun, and Uranus line up, they're in an exact straight line.
Wow.
So Saturday, Uranus is going to be behind the disk of the Sun. Completely, I mean, you can't really look right at it anyway, but the disk of the Sun. And so these are interesting times where there's usually an acceleration of these energies of change and of innovation and acceleration. God bless us all. We don't need things to move too much faster, but
they may be.
But technology, AI is a technology.
Yeah.
But the question I have in relation to that is, what technologies are here that we can change the flux of?
Well, my understanding too, when you talk about AI, is that something in front, a large like omnibus bill that's in front of the US government right now is included in that, folded into it, is a 10-year moratorium on the ability to pass any legislation about AI. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a good plan.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a reconciliation bill.
Oh my gosh, learning about Sam Altman is that it's like, oh oh, just the data centers and the waste of water.
Yeah.
Artists being ripped off.
There's a lot going on. And the federal government might make it the wild, wild west for AI for 10 years.
Yeah.
So talk to your representatives if you're inclined to say yay or nay to that, please. Let them know your opinion so that they have more fuel to act on.
Oh crap, I have another thing to say.
Yay! We have another 15 minutes. We have time.
So, coming up in June is when Jupiter will enter Cancer. And it's going to be making a square with that Saturn. Squares aren't bad.
Squares are bad. That's my squares bad thing. Squares stub my toe out.
Squares are uncomfortable tension that make shit happen.
We're trying to slide down, and
so,
squares you stub your toe.
Well, Jupiter is the planet of optimism and meaning making.
Okay.
So telling stories, telling better stories, or whatever, it's however you want to spin it. But in Cancer, it's exalted. Less about Jupiter in Gemini has been an Jupiter's abundance. So abundance of information and ideas and little scurries that go in 500 directions.
Because that's Gemini.
Yeah, and Jupiter is in its detriment to Gemini. Hey, no, I didn't just point my finger at your Gemini. But Jupiter in Cancer is a little bit more meaning making around sustenance, nurturing, family making, garden tending. Oh, how does my story, what's my larger part in a meaningful family? So some good juju's there. And so what the Saturn-Neptune conjunction has to teach, that square, we can see that come about a little more. In June in particular is potentially very, very magical story-making time.
Okay, so, and if we're ready for a square, if we're prepared for it, it's maybe a little easier, a little less toe stubbing. If we're like,
maybe.
Okay, that's not what I was initially told by somebody else a long time ago.
Well, it's a day sign versus a night sign, or a night sign versus a day sign.
Okay.
Or am I thinking right? Yeah.
So what's a day sign versus what's a day sign and what's a night sign? Just so we all.
Fire and air are the day signs, and earth and water are the night signs. Oh, yes.
Earth and water.
So oppositions are between day signs or night signs. Sextiles are between day signs or night signs. Trines are between day signs or night signs. But squares are between day signs and night signs.
Okay.
So there's a conflict there where there's two different planes that get to figure out how to interface.
Okay.
And so squares are what we build things on.
Okay.
So squares are the ones that make things happen, like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Here's energy that you're gonna see. So it's what you're gonna see, not necessarily feel, not necessarily understand, but shit's gonna happen.
Okay. What comes to mind when you describe it, and again, this is an old reference, because I've seen the Dick Van Dyke Show in reruns. There's two versions of the introduction of that show. One, he trips and does a prop fall over an ottoman or a footrest. And then later introductions, he notices it and does a little dance step around it. So that's what I'm thinking of. Uh-oh. I'm sorry.
We really need to do it. Oh my God, it's so painful.
But we hear it, and we had softer ones, and nobody heard it. The phone wasn't getting picked up.
That's okay.
But so what I think of when you describe the squares the way you are, I think of if you don't know it's coming or you're not ready for it, you're going to take the prat fall. And if you know it's coming, maybe you can dance around the square ottoman.
I like that idea.
And then you get to say hi to your friends instead of like wondering what you're doing on the floor.
I think that's a good approach.
Okay.
And come to my class and you will figure it out and emerge unscathed
At least have better odds of emerging unscathed. Ooh, whoever they are.
You know, there's a silence button there.
I know. Usually nobody does anything during the show. I don't usually have to worry about it. Whoever you are, I'm so sorry.
I'm very popular.
You are. We can't help this about you. You are popular and beloved. But, well, any other big notifications for us coming up in the near future astrologically?
Well, you know, just like I said, the Sun and Uranus are together, and they're going to be exactly together on Saturday. We just had a full moon that was pretty close to line up with that Uranus. Opposite so you see, there's this little thing where you can just click the button.
You are live on the internet right now. We open in 15 minutes, but while we are live on the internet, everything you say will be broadcast on several different channels. Did you need to come through right now? Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, you're very silly.
It was the third time that number had called, so they were clearly going to keep calling.
So, full moons are a good time to let go of things.
Okay.
And Uranus is the planet. Uranus and Mars are very much related.
Like simpatico little dudes?
I feel like, I think Uranus is really higher up than Mars. A lot of people disagree with me about that, but I've just seen it again and again with, well, don't get me wrong, but no. Saying no to things.
Okay.
You know, people say it's a Saturn thing, but it's all Mars is the one that is actually get off my turf.
My picture has
And
always
Aquarius,
been
and Aquarius is much more like, you're not relevant to this turf of my reality.
From the memes that are going
I know you
around.
Aquarius rising, that's right.
It's from the memes that are going around on at least on my YouTube shorts. There's a lot of Gen Xers don't care. I'm now in my head, that stereotype is associated that way. Whereas I've always thought of Mars as the angry 20-year-old who wants to get into a bar fight to say no. It's just a volatile.
Yeah, and Mars is a little more physically reactive, and Uranus is much more just too good for it all.
Okay, yeah, we don't care.
Just okay. Yeah. So less caring,
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
So just we're in this time right now of what are you going to draw? We're ready to let go of that you've been hanging on to for some sentimental reason. It's a good time to say, F it, and clear the slate.
I like that.
And more departments, because we got some big stuff to make space for. That's true.
A lot of changes are coming fast.
And it can be very beautiful.
So we have to figure out how to surf those little transitions well. I like that. That gives me hope for tomorrow. I like that idea.
It's exciting. It's a very exciting time for a new location for Memphis.
Thank you. I'm moving every morning. I'm here except for Sunday. I sleep in on Sunday just a little bit.
Thank goodness. Crazy dedication.
I know I'm a little insane. It's okay. I like my corner of crazy. I'm going to stick with it. Just something I've said for a while. Well, Adam, we'll be here on Sunday.
Come and party on Sunday. It'll be fun. You'll get materials to take home and play with, and you'll be over it.
And this will make even more sense because you'll have his undivided attention for what, a couple hours?
Yeah, I mean, it might not make much sense, but good things will happen.
It eventually makes sense. It filters in. It settles in. Astrology is a lot like herbalism. There's just a ton of information out there. And sometimes you just have to hear it and hear it and hear it, and it gradually like sinks in, and you're like, oh, I do know that one thing. Cool.
I'm looking for the quote from Sufi teacher is, it can't be got, but it can be caught.
That makes sense.
Come and get infected.
And you too will look to the heavens and see so many things and gain so much wisdom. Well, thank you. We're in our last few minutes. So Sunday, what time is your class?
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Jupiter was in heaven as a kickoff.
Yay, and it is by donation, so come check it out. And otherwise, if you really are nice to him, maybe he would do your chart interpretation as well, for whatever fee you charge for that glorious service.
Oh, I'm like Chris, I don't charging money is weird. It's like, well, let's look at your chart. Yes.
This is true, you just get very excited about charts. You've looked at mine.
Mhm.
You know all my secrets now.
Very special.
As are we all, I am sure.
You got that 60s magic, and the 60s magic with the Uranus-Pluto conjunction, that Gen Z thing. There's the Uranian energy of, well, just energy. Keep going, keep making it happen, keep showing up, and not taking it too personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about, yeah, if you're angry at me that day, that's not necessarily about me. That might just be really more about you, and I get that. It doesn't mean I think your behavior is appropriate, but I get it. In the meantime, you guys have a great week. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Liz here at Vegas Books and Herbs in Minneapolis, soon to be at 2520 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis. On behalf of myself and all the staff, including Adam, whom you can see here on Thursdays and Fridays, we thank you for the subscribes, the likes, the comments, the views, live and in the replay. Thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you here at the shop or online at vegasbooks.com. Blessed be everybody.